have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the Parents' Lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the Parents' Lounge is the cure to staying sane. Welcome all to another edition of the Parents' Lounge, our Tuesday parental mental health evening where we try to get through this whole thing. Jamie Kaler, joined as always by Jason Gowan and Kate Mulligan, who already looks exacerbated. And our latest contributor, Mr. Ben Duff, is here. Hey guys, how are you all?
Hello.
Can I tell you, I'm actually doing so much better now that somebody picked a really nice picture of me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That would be you, wouldn't it, Jason? I was like, oh, he got the braids. He got a side angle where I don't look too big. I'm very
because
pleased.
You've given me such a hard time about previous photos I've chosen. I thought I owed you one.
Well, to be fair, we've asked her for photo. We go, hey, Kate, can we get a photo? And she sends that photo of her like eating a turkey leg.
I don't. Yeah, but that, by the way, I look good in that picture, honey.
You do. It's honestly, so does the turkey leg. That thing
There's
looks
a primal
delicious.
sexuality to it that is.
It's for foodies. It's like when George Costanza goes, "I love food and sex. Why can't I combine them?" And he's eating the giant sub in the bed. That's what life with Mulligan's like.
Yeah,
where Dickie's like, "Hey, you want to grab the turkey leg for an evening of bliss?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm all over that."
Like, can I just do the eating part?
Let's check in with our buddy and our collaborator and our social media guru from the Upper Peninsula. Is it the UP? The Upper Peninsula?
It's the Upper Peninsula, yeah.
Michigan. He's still reeling from a Detroit Lions win that has set that part of the country ahead years.
We're
Ben Duff.
So excited. Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, it's so excited. I got really lucky during the game because I get so nervous during those things. I had a kind of a work call during it, and it was actually really nice because it kept me distracted, so I didn't have a near heart attack because it was a close game. But man, big W. It's going to be a great season.
People are still into this football thing's happening. I thought it would end up being like horse racing in the turn of the century or boxing, where the people go, no, that's over, man. That's the sport of kings is done.
Yeah,
gambling saved football. We'll talk about that, but. Here we have our pal who's doing our show with us, and honestly, I don't know how he did it because he doesn't have any children whatsoever. But we love him so much, and he makes me laugh so hard.
Called the pull-out method, Taylor. You should have tried it.
He has to pull out twice because he's in the middle of a throuple. He has to do a double pull. Is that too much, Mulligan?
No, I was gonna say I really want to, with his permission, read over what his text was today.
Oh yeah. You should. Here's how great he is. He's calling in from a car. I think he's on a way to a gig or something. But our old pal Justin Ruppel's here. Hey, JR, what's up, buddy?
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
We can.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Because yeah, Mulligan, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, if it's okay, I'm gonna go grab my phone because I want to read just a few pieces of the text exchange today, if possible.
Yeah, please go.
That's permission. Is that consent?
Yeah. And I'll even do a little setup because here's what happened. Go ahead, Molly. Go grab your phone. So we are during the day. We're like, hey, what are we doing for the show tonight? Who's in? Who's out? Or whatever. And everybody's in. And then Justin goes on some insane diatribe on the thing. It made us all laugh so hard, which is fantastic. And he's like, I'm in a car. I'm not gonna be there. He's like, I'll call in. I go, okay, all right, it's all good. Here goes Mulligan with the reading.
Hey, you look very handsome, Justin.
Thank you. You'll see.
You'll see. Okay. I have a small problem. Okay.
Says Justin.
Says Justin. I want everyone to remember he's got a small problem. It's a small problem. It's my fiance's birthday surprise concert tonight. I didn't know about it because my wife left it off our schedule. So she didn't see it. I'm going to find out what time it is. I might be able to. So far, who's confused?
I'm not confused. Honestly, it makes total sense to me.
I was confused at the time, per my question, and then
her reading of it made it more. It actually made it better.
Yeah,
honestly, it came off softer than when I read it myself.
He then talks about how it's like a unique problem to them. And Jason goes, birthday concerts are a unique problem? And he said, no, but two partners keeping a secret from the third partner. But there's something called, oh, wow. But someone's entire life running on a shared scheduled app called Kukini. That's more the throuple thing.
Kukini the app.
You, by the way, have no idea. They might be trying to keep a surprise from you.
Correct.
You could be on. Yeah.
Are we now sponsored by Kukini?
It's your fiance's birthday, and your wife and her made special. I love that you. First of all, it's the other way around. It's your wife's birthday.
One wife made one plan that he didn't know about because it couldn't be put in the app. Jamie, focus.
Wife made plans for both of them to surprise the fiance.
Oh, so the fiance has no idea what's happening, and you had no idea. Yeah. Well, it is a surprise concert, so I mean, congratulations. This is your birthday present too.
That to me is like a problem.
Here's a present to both of you. Here's a present to both of you. A few minutes ago, we arrived finally at the concert. It's the band Head Automatica, which is a band that we loved in college, Claire and I. And Katie was like, Claire keeps going, so where are we going? And I said, we're not going anywhere, but, and Katie said, shut up. He's a ruiner. And I said, what's a ruiner? And she said, that's you on every level. And I said, every level? And I think this goes for a lot of us here tonight. Guys, have you ever had your partner called you a ruiner? Kate, I'm assuming, considering your involvement in comedy, you've been called the ruiner, which is a movie or a surprise or like a thing that you're like, oh, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That term has never been used on me, but absolutely, I have been told I have ruined. It's so funny that you don't have kids because that's honestly, kids are like, you ruined it.
My kids are
I will say it feels like a George W. Bush. You know how he was like, I'm the decider. I feel like, yeah, there it is. Are you the ruiner?
You ruined it.
One more time. Let me hear it again.
Pardon me. I just want to tell you that, wow, these guys are doing wheelies off Sunset Boulevard. It's totally crazy. You ruined it.
Sarah says my husband is 1,000,000,000% a ruiner.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the zeros.
Every time I hear Bush, all I want to hear is the word nuclear.
Nuclear.
No, he says nuclear.
Nuclear.
As opposed to nuclear.
I said nuclear.
Nuclear. That makes me laugh. Dude, it's so funny because it's literally, you can go out of your way as a parent. Like tonight, my wife picked up Hannah from school to take her to swim practice. My wife didn't have the swim gear. So I went out of my way, jumped in the car, grabbed all of her gear, a bathing suit, took it to the school where she was so she could swim. And then when she got home, I was like, how was swimming? She's like, you forgot the towel, and lit me up. Lit me up. And then my wife walked in. She
sounded like Squidward.
She's like, she's in a bad mood. You did. You're a ruiner, Dad. You ruined it for me.
Taylor, there's an impression in there somewhere.
My wife actually called from swim practice and was like, hey, can you drive a towel over here? And I had Claire, and so I would have had a pile of Claire in the car. It's also 100 degrees here. I was like, I go, grab some paper towel. Go to the bathroom and grab some paper towel. What are you doing?
Stick your head out the window on the way home.
That's what I said.
How about somebody other than me prepare for this? How about that? I'm on your side, Kaylor.
I told her, I was like, hey, it's
Well,
I
there's
wasn't cold
the
getting
world as we
cold.
know it. I never thought I'd see that day.
I guess
What'd you
next
say?
time
Wow.
you'll plan on bringing a towel yourself, Chief. That's a you problem.
That's a you problem.
My children were ruiners Friday night. My eldest gremlin said to me, for my birthday, we should go to Chuck E. Cheese. For my birthday.
Your daddy birthday.
Yes.
Right,
And
gotcha.
so I said, "Who are you paying for this?" "No, you will also pay for it." So I said, "Oh, okay." So we get there. Those three were the worst. Two of them were the worst behaved children I have ever seen in a public place ever. Dark Lord got in one of those little ride-on vehicles. It was a van, and he got inside of it. And when we tried to remove him so that he could eat the dinner, he is screaming, "Help! Help me! Help!" Making
He's
it seem
verbal.
like, because I was trying to kidnap him.
This is why you wish he was still nonverbal.
That's what I said to him. I'm like, "Have we
No, when
thought
he-
this through?"
When he first told me his kids were nonverbal, I was like, oh, you lucky son
You
of a
lucky
gun.
son of
That's-
a-
Hold on. Give me a second. I need to understand. They told you for your birthday.
Yeah.
You just kind of like skipped over that. You're like,
Yeah. Yeah, we
these
kind of like go
kids,
back. Yeah.
these dumbass kids, they're for my birthday, like I'm gonna go to Chuck E. Cheese. So I'm at Chuck E. Cheese.
And that's parenting. That's parenting.
That's-
Oh, no,
Dude,
Jason.
but you
Jason,
didn't
that's
say-
you as a parent.
Yeah.
That is you.
He's-
I can
honestly-
guarantee you. No.
Mhm.
No.
Mhm.
There are others watching this going, screw my kids.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy.
You still don't
know.
know how to say no yet. I would have been like,
Oh no, I say no all the time.
I would have
just
been
was
like, Chuck E. Cheese sounds fantastic. I will leave you and the kids at Chuck E. Cheese, and I will be back in 2 hours to get you. And then I would have gone somewhere else without the kids or my
Well,
wife.
the next day I did. I went and hung out with Carlos Rocky and drank scotch.
There you
That's
go.
true. That's
Yeah,
true.
and so
but
here's why. That's why you can't say no on Friday, because she's like, look at you, you're leaving tomorrow. So it's almost like anytime we get anything good and they hold it over our heads and be like, all right, so now so that's going to be a good thing. So to level it off, we're going to make you suffer miserably to pay for that.
Do you think Melissa paid them to do this?
Oh, not even a question.
Wait,
It's all-
do you?
it's all
I'm
right.
sorry. Just as the resident wife here, are you talking about women do that? Your wives do that, or the kids
Yes.
do it? Hold
The
it
kid.
over.
Wives, I would say wives more so.
Okay, you again. Let's not generalize because,
No, wives.
Sir,
Oh,
sir.
I would say
Rup-
100%.
The Rupples got two. Do they ever hold things over you like that?
Of course they do.
I don't think he's going to answer that.
no,
Can I
they
tell you-
don't. Honestly,
I'm also.
I'll
saying this is
I'll answer as honestly as I possibly can every single time. This is one of those things where I'm going to tell you they do not. And the reason they do not is because I have to go way, way, way overboard every time to make sure that I am attentive. And because of that, I am way over the board, way over observant. So
Okay.
there is, yeah.
This is the one time that the fact that you don't have children makes you a complete
Yes.
idiot, because
That's
the
right.
fact here, none of our wives were like that, dude. All of our wives were exactly like your wives, and then they had children, and then
That's right.
it game's over. It's
Okay.
almost like they go,
Okay, go
well,
ahead.
he can't leave now. Like once that anchor is weighed on, I mean,
Look at
Jason,
Kate's face.
it's
Look
over.
at Kate's face.
Then
Look at her. She's like,
please, I'm not saying anything that's not true. Then they know
I
they
mean, I
have
used to
you.
love
You
life.
can't
But
go.
one time I loved life.
Yes,
I-
we did. We all
I
did.
feel like, Kaylor,
Yeah.
what you're doing is making a lot of enemies. And I'll tell you why. Because what you're talking about is your wife. And I think that's fine. You are saying your experience with your wife is that she would hold a birthday over you. What I am telling you is, for my husband, I swear on whatever holy book you want me to swear on, for his birthday, I would send him away for 2 weeks if he wanted. I don't care. Like, I and I will not keep track of if I am then owed 2 weeks. I don't play that game. I just don't. And it's because I feel taken care of by him and he feels taken care of by me. So it just isn't a tit for tat.
Listen,
Do we
Mulligan,
have
it's 'cause you're a
other?
dude.
I'm not
You're
done
a-
talking, Jamie.
You're a dude. See?
I'm not done talking, Jamie.
I
Do
was
I have
done.
do I have other dysfunctions in the marriage? Sure, but that ain't it, honey. Okay. And for somebody who wants to come talk to me about, can we make sure we're not talking over each other? Wait until you hear my punctuation! Exclamation point.
Oh, this is awkward. Like when mom hit dad at the dinner table.
Well, Kimberly Williamson agrees with Kate. Of course, the women are all going to agree. All the women are going to agree because they're all together. Dude, trust me, there's a secret meeting happening right somewhere now where like a woman's raising her hand going, my husband's going on a golf weekend in October. And then the other women go, is there a way you can punish him at the end of September? Is there something you could do to hurt him? And then other women are like, I vote yay. That's yes. And so that measure gets passed. And then that dude has to go to Chuck E. Cheese for his own birthday. That's how the whole thing works.
All I want to say, Kayla, is that meeting's not happening.
Till next week. Did you cancel the meeting? Oh, my. All right, listen. Let's go to our social media guru / Michigan dad.
Careful, Ben. Careful.
Ben. Speed Ben. What's your opinion on this?
I can't say that my wife has ever, I think, done that. I think
really quickly. I don't know if she can hear us because you're wearing headphones. Is she standing just out of frame with a gun to your head?
No, she is not. No,
you can tell the truth. Blink, blink, SOS.
She is not. I think it just all depends. I think you got to have that balance. You know, like if you do something, then they get to do something. You know, like if you get the golf trip, then she gets the girls trip.
I've never once. Freddie B says I stupidly went to eat Subway while my wife was in labor with our first. She held it over my head until our second was born.
Yeah, that's
wild, Freddie.
Yeah.
So wait, he serves no purpose. She's in labor. How long is she in labor for? 36, 48 hours. Some of these women, it's like it's like labor. It's too long. Labor should be faster, don't you think, Mulligan? I mean, 47 hours of labor I hear, and the kids 15 pounds.
It is so rare that I'm not the problem on the show, but I gotta tell you, I'm not the problem on this show.
I feel very antagonistic tonight.
This is like a generational thing.
You're the problem. It's you.
Everybody point to Jamie. Let's all sing it together. It's you.
You're the problem. It's you.
I just think that this might be like, Kayla's a boomer, and this is how, this is a boomer thing.
He's right. I am the last year of boomers. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I'm the last year of millennial. That's okay.
I am the last year of boomer.
I think, I don't know. Though the labor thing, my buddy, they scheduled a C-section. His wife had a C-section, and they scheduled it around watching baseball, Tigers baseball.
Sure.
And I was like, so you got to go watch the game, and then he's like, yeah, and then everything was fine. I was like, that sounded pretty good because I had to sit there for hours.
His labor she was in labor for 13 hours.
That's really
he
good.
Dude. He brought her back her own $5 footlong, which is honestly very caring.
That's pretty.
Seems like a sweet guy to me.
Footlong's how they got in the mess in the first place.
Yeah. Oh, joke of the day right there. Joke of the day. Also, Freddie, by the way, Freddie does. That's what he charges behind the 7-Eleven there in Phoenix. $5 for his footlong.
If his footlong is $5, then Freddie is just giving that away.
I know, for a footlong.
Well, for Arizona currency.
But it's got to factor in inflation.
I mean, my Irishness, sure, $5. That's a fair deal. Here's a little something.
Jason, you sounded like Bam Margera there for a second. I don't know why.
He's from
a currency.
See, Troy defends him. Troy says it's irrelevant. It's the thought that counts. So here's my question. She's in labor for 13 hours. Is he supposed to not eat? Is he supposed to sit there and pretend he's in labor too? I mean,
well, it was before DoorDash probably, so that would be a non-issue now.
Yeah. Narcolepsy is absolutely right. That footlong with inflation turns into 1.5 feet.
Yeah.
Who's measuring?
Narcolepsy's killing me again. Murdering
So
it.
good.
It's like 10.5 in this economy. That's so funny. Guys we have such a writer's room in the audience that they end up writing the same joke simultaneously. That's pretty funny. I am, of course, being antagonistic. Here was the deal. Like my wife's great. I went to Bandon Dunes, but here's the deal. The wives need to plan. Wives need to plan.
Again, I just feel like the generalizations aren't helping you. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel
Well,
like
stereotypes are there for a reason.
Well, now
Here's
hold
what
on.
I'll tell you. Most of the wives who are on this show are mean and condescending towards me. And I'm not all, but most of the wives on this show, I would find shrew-like. Like shrew-like.
Yes. By the way, I feel like now we're talking specifics and I co-sign what you just said. But when you're talking generalizations,
Sure.
That's what, when you say there's a wife on this show
Yes.
who wants you dead in a street somewhere.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
Now we're dealing in facts, honey.
By the way, I got the letter with cutout newspaper about me getting killed, and I didn't appreciate you. You shouldn't put your name on it, Kate.
I
You
didn't
signed
send
it.
that.
You signed it. Kate
No,
wrote
I
it.
didn't.
It's crazy. And you had to cut out a K and an A. It was the whole thing was very elaborate. It was well done though. It was very. I framed it.
Can we hear? Can I be heard?
Yes, please.
Oh,
Okay, go. I think Jason and Kate. I think you guys are right here. This is a generational thing, not a men and women thing. And you know why? You know why? Aha! You know why?
Oh, Dueling Goldblums. Yes.
Because all right, just from personal experience. When my parents were growing up, or when my parents were had me, it was really rare that my mom made the same amount as my dad. Like they both made a really good living, but they both made the same amount, and that was shockingly rare, right? Yeah. Okay, now, so Jamie, your parents, it would have been like almost impossible for that to happen, right? So holding things over your head was the way that the person without money used to bargain for shit, right? It would be like, well, I'm just going to wait till they screw up. Ha-ha! That's the way I get to spend the money myself because the other guy is the wallet holder. But nowadays it's the wallet is either 50-50 or just a little skewed women in many cases. So what's happened is I don't think a lot of the holdover so much as the going Dutch type like tit for tat. It's 1 and 1 so much as it's not like, remember last year at this time you went on this trip and because of the equal money. I think that might be it.
Once again, I'm going to talk about the guy who has no kids because we all were in those relationships, Justin. We all were in those wonderful, beautiful relationships, honeymoon phase, and it was fantastic. Kids change things, Mulligan. I'm not crazy. I'm not speaking out of turn. Come on. That's crazy.
You're not, but you're not. I feel like where you're getting yourself into trouble legitimately is that
opening my mouth.
Well, yes, actually, if you could just sign the rest of the show,
I could.
That would be ideal.
I could. I'm working on ALS right now.
No,
American,
not at all. No,
ASL.
I think it's totally fair that we can share our experiences with our particular marriages. I think it's okay to say like that my husband does this thing that just drives me crazy. But I think where we get in trouble is be like, can you believe that no husbands ever close the kitchen cabinets? Isn't that so annoying?
That's so crazy. I close them all. Actually, here's the deal. I don't think it's a husband-wife. I think the relationship flips in.
Well, closing the cupboards is a generational thing.
First of all, calling them cupboards is a generational thing.
Actually, I think that's now racist. I don't know.
You know what?
They don't want to be called.
Well, actually, that brings us to one of our topics this week that Ben brought to me. By the way, my show list for this evening is written. I found a piece of paper and then I flipped it over, and it's my 4 free drink coupons for Southwest Airlines that expire September 30th. So I need to fly on Southwest.
You got to
I'm going
find.
to-
Wait,
Oh,
what are
aren't
you?
you?
Sonoma.
You're
Yeah.
flying there
I'm
like a
going to
week
Sonoma
after.
this weekend, and these kind I just found them, and I was like, oh yeah, look what I found.
What a windfall, Taylor.
Nice.
Windfall. By the way, yeah, I'm going to be in Sonoma at my buddy 16600's vineyard. I am hosting a jazz show on Saturday.
Oh,
We're
how
going up.
fun.
It is my birthday on Thursday. Jason's birthday was just this past week. We did Chuck E. Cheese. I will not be, instead of going to Chuck E. Cheese, I'm going to Wine Country. But it's very similar, Jason. Very similar. Very
Well, that's like Chuck E. Cheese for adults.
Yeah.
Or-
it's Chuck E. Cheese and crackers on a charcuterie plate next to a giant bottle of wine. a
It's
Magnum.
Charles cheese and crackers.
Yeah.
Charles Cheese.
It's
Wow.
Charles fromage, if you will.
Oh,
Does Ruppel
Bonjour,
a
Charles
Giamatti?
fromage.
what's that?
So
do you have a
So, Ben,
Giamatti?
you do a Bel Giamatti?
I do have a little Paul Giamatti, but I don't like doing it. So it's very.
Narcolepsy, you son of a gun. He said happy 107. I'm only 103. So here's what Ben sent me, which I found super funny. Ben, you want to talk about it? Because he goes, from now on, you can't say the word feedback in corporate world.
Yeah.
You have to say feed forward, because somehow people are taking the word feedback in a negative tone. Is that the general consensus of the article, Ben?
Yeah, 100%. So it's like the new. It's too much. It's a stressor when people say feedback. It's just not positive. So they're saying that essentially people are getting stressed out over it and they're not being positive.
I mean,
I don't know. Like it just seems kind of crazy. Like how are you supposed to critique, somebody's job? Like
you can't. By the way, I don't think
yeah.
you can legally critique anyone ever again. And even if you do, dude, I'm coaching 10-year-old soccer players. I had to yell at them.
What could go
yesterday
wrong?
And screamed at them and be like, "Will you stop talking?" And the moms were like, "Thank you." They would not shut up. Shut up. Will you shut up? Won't. They're great. They're really great kids and they're super funny but no one has told these kids, like, it's like that. It's like, you can't say, "Hey, I'm going to give you some feedback." They go, "Oh, that makes me feel uncomfortable."
Yeah.
Did I do? Am I in trouble? No, it's just feedback. What you're saying? I did something. No, we're going to feed forward. We're going to do feed forward. So in the future, what you did, if you could do it this way, it would be better. It's so crazy the way.
Freddie B says, "From now on, I'm offering my wife a front rub, so it's not negative."
That's funny.
That's
Yeah.
really
I
good.
do value the front rub.
Let me ask.
You can't go from feedback to front. That's funny. Yes, go
Let
ahead.
me ask the leading question then, like a lawyer would.
Mm.
If this is the language that switches,
You're becoming
He
Goldblum.
becomes,
Dude, it's like the Fly, where you're like, you've gone in, but you're not becoming a fly. You're becoming Goldblum.
Right. Hold on. What's happening up here? Look at this.
I can listen to that all day long.
all day
That
long.
makes me
It's
upset.
so good.
Question. Let us say. Someone said, "Suck my balls back and forward." That was
That was someone who made a comment, but yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
that's not
Anyway.
Goldblumian.
No, I didn't. What I will say is this: what if you do change the language, right?
Yeah.
And people, let's say this generation, the softer language and all that bullshit, right? What if? Go with me on this.
Mm-hmm.
What if it actually changes the behavior? What
Hmm.
if you change the language so you change the behavior? So, like,
And
is that
overruled.
possible?
Sorry, we've tossed out the case. This lawyer's
Again, another
terrible.
guy without children. But go ahead. Let's
No,
hear how this theory breaks down.
No, I have no theory. I'm
No, that's
asking the
actually-
question.
You're saying by changing the language, what's happening? By changing the word
So-
feedback to feed forward?
So we used to play a game of football back when I was a kid, where you'd toss the ball up into the air, right?
Yeah.
And the second you'd catch it, since you had odd number players, everybody had to tackle the person with the ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
That game
Don't
was
say it.
called
Don't say it.
Smear. I won't say the second
Yeah.
half, but the first word
Right.
is
It was
smear.
called
Right.
Patrick.
right,
And people like things
Not
that
what-
rhyme.
not what we call it anymore, right?
No.
Not what we call it now.
Well, that's a
reason I say
derogatory
that-
term. I think the word feedback is.
It's not my point. My point is, hold on.
You're getting arrested. Justin's
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
pulled over.
It's an ambulance.
Jeff Bridges is driving that ambulance, I believe, isn't he?
Come on, man! I'm trying to do a podcast here. Damn it! Walk through it. Did I take your statins, man? Come on. My question was,
Yes.
so years ago, we took away stuff like that, and now that kind of behavior is a little less. My question is, if I don't know, I have no idea, because these are changes I've never even heard of. By the way, I don't agree with the change. I'm interested as a sociology student.
Mhm.
We did change that. We changed some derogatory racist stuff. So I'm curious, by changing the language in other ways, does that work as well? I don't know. I'm literally asking the question for the podcast.
I agree. I agree with you. I think you're right. I mean, obviously, language does matter and changes to it, but I think you can go too far where no one can take a joke anymore. No one. It's like everyone's like you're hurting my brand. I'm trying to monetize. You're upsetting me. And
well, that's kind of what the rest of the article kind of goes into, is that so feedback is leaving people discouraged in the workplace. So they're also corporations are also no longer saying yearly reviews and nixing reviews performance. So you're not reviewed on your performance anymore. So that's that's the bigger part of it. So now it's leaving companies in a position that, like, if you do have an employee that isn't, holding their water and doing their job, like you're not going to be able to correct that problem. And my question is to you guys as stand-ups and performers, if somebody along your journey didn't come back and just kind of have that, like, not saying like negative, they got to scream at you and like, oh, you suck, you're the worst, but just say, hey, let's walk through this. Like, what could we do better? Like, would you be in the position you are today? I mean, would you be able to book a show or get a gig? I mean,
they do. It's called Twitter.
Well,
that's true.
It's called all of the comments in my Instagram, my TikTok.
Sure.
It's the, like, for example, Ben, as the most money I've ever made doing comedy was on a cruise ship. Okay. And on a cruise ship, they pay a lot of money to comics who have no real stature. And the reason they do is at the end of each cruise, they put a big packet and then ask for.
We lost you, buddy.
We
lost you.
Sorry.
And it was a pivotal moment.
It looked
Yeah, it was
dramatic,
right.
though. It looks super
Because-
dramatic.
And they
so-
asked for your first.
Hold on. Sorry.
They asked for
Sorry.
a rating. They asked for ratings.
They asked for a rating.
Yeah.
They asked for a rating on the ship. And if you get over 65%, you get to stay aboard the contract. If you don't, you're fired. So the audience ultimately chooses. It is not a anything but did you play to them? Now, the real question is, they are king. They hold your $3,500, the most you're ever going to see because they pay for a whole bunch of other stuff. And you're like, oh my God, right? Now, I learned to play by that rule, but that's with a contract comes this. When you don't have that, you have to fight for some other crap. Like, you have to be an independent guy, where it's just one time, one in, and it doesn't come with any of the benefits like a big corporate payer would,
Well, I also would argue that on a cruise ship, you are a gun for hire. It's not like they came to see you, Taylor Swift. They're on a cruise. They're going to the thing. So your job is to really perform for them. And so, I kind of understand that. I always I would get angry sometimes. I get artistic integrity, but I would see comics walk rooms. And I was like, those people, they paid a lot of money, man. And they took a Saturday night off. They wanted to come see the show. And you kind of got annoyed at them. And you were like, you've seen people do it. And they go, I don't care. I'm finishing every one of these jokes. And I'm going to do every, horrible abortion joke I thought of. And you're like, Yeah.
I always find it, and tell me if this is, I've been out of the corporate world for so long, but I perform for corporations and colleges. And the rules with them are, look, we're going to pay you so much more, but you better tap dance by these rules. And so when I hear a lot of people go, oh, rules are hard, I go, yeah, welcome to my world. I pay my checks based on, I can't, if I go to a college, I can't say this, I can't say this, I can't say this, I can't say this. But guess what? My check goes up every time I can't say it, and I get around it. So who's right?
That's every world, every job. Speaking of which, another one, the guy, here's a little tip. If you are a football coach and you hire a sexual awareness counselor, a very specific person who talks to your team in Michigan State, and then he hired a woman. Did you see this, Justin? The coach, it's pretty big news. The coach of Michigan State, they are trying, making sure the football players are aware of sexual harassment and innuendos and being careful of their speech or whatever. So they hired a sexual awareness expert to come in with the team, the Michigan State football team, and kind of teach the boys how to act and not, they're out in the public eye or whatever. The coach got busted for masturbating on the phone with her, and she says it was, and he's like, oh, it was totally consensual, and she's like, yeah, that was not consensual. I'm gonna say, if you're gonna listen, if that's your innuendo and you love a little while somebody's on a phone with you, maybe don't do it with the sexual awareness counselor that you hired for your. Did you not see this story? Oh my god, it's the greatest story of all time.
How did this get out? How did he admit to it?
Yeah, so he's been under she made it an anonymous tip, and so he's been under an investigation for 10 months, and then it just came out publicly because they're nearing the end of their investigation.
Now, Ben, I think I'm not sure. I kind of listened to the story intently, trying to figure it out. But so he hired her, right, for the team.
Yeah, so she's and her name escapes me, but it's Brenda. I forget her last name, but
Brenda. What is she, born in 1930? That's still.
Her birthday's after yours.
She just reported me. I just got canceled.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But she's very well known. She her story is she was raped when she was in college, and so she's been a big advocate, and she speaks to a lot of college football programs, and so Michigan State brought her in, and they developed a friendly relationship,
consensually friendship.
Yeah, and I mean, he even made her an honorary captain for a game, which is a big deal, and so they've carried on. He wanted to be her girlfriend. She's like, I want you to be my girlfriend. He's married. He's got kids.
There it is. That's the part I was going to ask about.
Yeah, and so and
it
also
gets worse. The story gets worse.
It's Michigan State.
I'm Melissa, who
has a a nice history, or not a nice history, but some issues there with Larry Nassar and things. So there's a morality clause in his contract that he has to be. That's the one thing that's a fireable offense, is like he has to continue to be a good role model for the players, and it doesn't look good for Michigan State. So yeah, he's out of job. And he forfeits because the way $80 million plus.
Yeah. So I want to go back to what we were just talking about, and I want to also address this. But there's two things I want to say. One of the things, Kaylor, and I'm saying this with all sincerity in my heart, I've never seen you do stand up. It's what I used. It's why I was enamored with you as a stand up. It does not matter if it is a rough crowd. I could get off the stage and be like, wow, that crowd was rough. This man right here will get up and break any audience wide. Like, you just, for whatever reason, are as likable. You can get any audience to if everybody's like, we're not hungry, you'll have them eating out of your hand by the end of it.
Well, you can't turn on him. It's elderly abuse.
He didn't. Boy, he wasn't always this old,
showing up tonight. Godwin's like 5 for 5.
He wasn't always this old. It's so confusing. But when I knew him doing stand-up, man, he was in his 40s. Maybe even late 30s.
That's this guy right there. Oh, there look at that
guy. Oh, listen. We all remember this guy.
Yeah,
that's very kind of you. But I have bombed more than my fair share. But
Maybe
you
that's
reach a
yeah,
point
I never saw it.
where I am a big fan of give the audience, like, there's certain jokes where you go, listen, that one was for me. I know it never hits as hard as I wanted to, but I love that joke.
But
But
it
most of the
is
time I
why-
try to gear my act towards the audience because I always feel like they paid.
Yes.
Most people paid to see a show, and
Yes.
I've seen guys just walk on and go, I don't give a rat's ass about you people. I am going to tell these handful of jokes and almost try to like walk. I've seen people almost deliberately walk the crowd. We're like, what are you doing, man? Why would you do that? It's so annoying.
I wanted to say also the equivalent of saying, oh, I don't want to get a performance review at my job would be the equivalent to a stand-up getting on stage and being like, don't anyone make any noise. I don't want to know if you like my jokes or not.
That's fine.
Wow,
I mean, it's
good
absurd.
point.
It's absurd.
We
And
have-
to me, the moment you stop thinking that you're somebody who makes mistakes is the moment you stop being a human being. If
You
I
have to
don't make
live to
7
learn.
mistakes every day,
Yeah.
and if I'm 41 years old and bothered by somebody telling me I made a mistake, what have I been doing with my life? I should be like, oh yeah, thank you, or sorry, or whatever. Like, it's insane to me that people think they are not flawed.
I picked up Claire on the way home from school today, and she was talking to me about her day, and she goes, something happened. I forget how it worked, but she was like, I made a bad decision. And then it got quiet. She goes, Dad, have you ever made a bad decision? I didn't even pause. I was like, Claire, I have made so many terrible decisions. And I was like, everybody does.
Yeah.
All you can do is learn from it
Yep.
and try not to. I used to have an acting teacher. I won't even say his name. He was fantastic. It was more of an audition class, and Mulligan, you might have taken it at the point.
No.
But you would cold read. So you would get there, you would do a cold read, then you'd walk on stage in front of the whole class. It was so nerve-wracking because everybody was really great in this class, some serious actors and stuff. And you would do your scene. And this is how he always would do it. So you'd finish the scene, you'd go, how'd you think that went? And you'd go like, I felt like a pretty good start. He goes, yeah, felt like a pretty good start. What else? And then you go, I feel like I could have, I didn't know the word. I didn't know the lines well enough. He goes, I felt like you didn't know the lines well enough. Anything else? And he would just basically mimic back what you said, which was kind of intuitive, but
And
part of me
also
was
a cheap way of getting out of work.
cheap way of getting out of work. But he also, it is a fine line with art and with acting and stuff to go like, because there's some people we think are terrible actors. It's whether somebody believes that performance or not. That's really the key. And I know actors, I'm like, I hate their performances. And other people are like, no, it's fantastic, and vice versa and stuff. It's like music. That's why when people like light up comics or something and they have they're huge. I go, look, I'm an audience of one. What do I know? Like, it's not my flavor, but if the guy has 5 million fans, I mean, he must be doing something right.
That is
so
5
I
million
love when people
with terrible taste.
That only came with age, though, man. That comes with age, right? Because when we were all younger, everybody could think of somebody that you're like, their art not only was bad, you hated them. Yeah, Carlos.
Yeah, he
I
sent
will
it to
send-
Carlos. We get
yeah,
Carlos
I'll
because
send him-
Justin has to go to a concert of.
Yeah, I gotta go.
What was the name of the band again?
Head Automatica.
I
Never
remember
heard
them.
of them.
Yeah, they're
sounds-
great.
It
I
sounds like
remember
a
them.
Bush.
It's a
It
good
sounds like
rock band.
It sounds like a Bush cover band.
It does. I love you all. Good luck.
Head Automatica sounds like
buddy.
your daily routine, honestly, in that household.
Oh.
Double head automatic.
damn it.
Double head Automatica, yeah.
All right. Get out
Justin,
of
love you,
here.
Rups.
you're a real G for doing this from the car. Thank you.
Thanks for jumping in the car, buddy.
I love you guys. See you soon. Bye.
All right, see you. Bye.
Right. Love
That's
you.
so funny. Yeah, isn't that
Are you
crazy?
guys so excited to hang out with him in person in Sayre?
I know. Do you want to just come and hang?
No, but that being said,
You don't want to just come hang out and Sayre with us for the weekend?
I love
At the-
Sayre. I
at the
loved
Dandy
it.
Mart?
I loved it. I loved it. But you think I want to come to a show that I can't be in? No, sir. No, no.
Well, could we throw you on? What are you, crazy? Of course we throw you
No.
on.
I mean, once you're on the
Um,
stage, it's hard to stop them.
Yeah, I honestly, it's hard to stop you anyway. And plus, we'll all hang out at the Dandy Mart. That's what's happening.
But the breeze gone.
So this
I'm
is what
taking care of that
happened.
problem. We have another secret place that we're going.
Is it
Here's
just
what
terrible?
happened with my daughter yesterday. So she's in
Okay.
5th grade, and as a teacher of people,
Yeah.
Mulligan, you know about children, and so apparently, 5th grade is when homework really starts to kick in.
I am a 5th grade teacher. I'm a 4th and 5th grade teacher.
It's 5th grade because kids seem terrified of 5th grade for some reason.
I think every school is different. There is it's so funny because I used to nanny for kids that were at a magnet school, and kindergarten was the craziest year for homework because they wanted to set the kids up so that every year after kindergarten felt like a success, which is such a crazy philosophy. So like kindergarten was the worst, but like at my school, yeah, I think without question 4th and 5th grade are the worst.
Yeah, because I even heard that gets easier later. But so Hannah has all of a sudden she has a lot of reading to do. She has to do a couple of AR books, like serious, legit. And I think it's the first time they go from like comic books and baby books to like, hey, this is a legit book, man. Like
there's a textbook,
huge chapters and stuff. So she's trying to she has a reading thing. And so we went to teacher night or whatever, and the teacher was like, you know, dropping the hammer. And so it's going to be 2 books a month and stuff. So she goes, you should probably schedule it out. And so I'm sitting with Hannah kind of going over like page counts and like, look, let's do this on a calendar and make this a legit schedule.
Yeah.
Because here's what I don't want. Life's already, you know, pretty hard with them coming home and bitching that they don't have a towel at me. So I don't want like 36 hours left and her to go, I have 5,000 pages to read. Yeah. Which I used to do. I think we all did. I go, I don't want you to make the worst 2 days of your life at the end of every month because it's going to be super painful.
Yeah.
So I was like, so she holds up her, I go, what book you reading? I go, and she holds the book up and I go, oh, what page you on? And she goes, she holds it and the bookmark is right in the middle. So she's read half the book,
good for
like
her.
at 155. And I go, great. Actually, you're kind of ahead of schedule. Okay. And so she goes, she wanted to watch TV for a little bit. And I said, sure, a little bit. And then we'll go back and we'll read. And so she watches some TV and then we go to read. And I'm reading in bed with her and she opens the book to read. And I'm not stupid. I can see the thickness of the book of where she is. And so I look over her shoulder. I go, hey, what page are you reading? She goes, oh, 52. She had moved the bookmark 100 pages forward. I mean, part of me is like, brilliant,
Clever.
genius,
Agreed.
Yeah.
sneaky, detrimental to all of our health. But I was like, I go, dude, you don't, I did that trick. She's stealing my moves. The kid's stealing my moves and it's driving
Also
me crazy.
commit to it. Don't then admit it later.
She didn't mean to. She went back to where she was in the book.
Ugh.
Luckily she didn't just skip the hunt. And here's what's funny. We talk and she goes, I actually really like the book. I like reading it, but it's time consuming. And I go, yeah, welcome to books.
Yeah.
You know, I used to do that joke, like, I mean, in the 80s, maybe about like, you know, if it's a good book, movie, 2 hours in and out, I'll knock this out. But, you know, I was Johnny Cliff Notes in college and high school. I was Cliff Note Central. I didn't read anything.
What book is it? What is it? Judy Blume?
Hers is The Land of Lost. The kids go back in time and solve mysteries in the past. It's actually a really good book.
So it's actually not. We're not talking like a textbook. We're talking like
No, it's a book.
Like fictional,
yeah. It's great. It's actually really good, and it's a whole series of books. The Land That Time Forgot. No, it's a I don't.
Okay.
Well, I think The Land That Time Forgot is
I know.
Welch movie.
Yeah.
I think
Land of the Lost.
Yeah.
But I thought that was so sneaky. So now I have to. I'm gonna have to be the guy who like rip. Oh, and here's what she did Monday morning. So the whole weekend goes by, and then Friday she's really dragging her feet getting out the door, and I'm like, what are you doing? Let's go! I'm trying to get you to school. We're trying to miss traffic. Land of Stories. Thank you, Katie. Yes, it is the Land of Stories. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Thank God Katie's here. And so we go to leave in the morning and she's really dragging her feet. And as we go to the car, we're like in the garage, opening the door, going out towards the car. And she goes, oh, here, you have to sign this. And it was the whole week before his homework. And it was done wrong. There was a ton of, I should put the pictures up. There was a ton of problems wrong. And she goes, here, you need to sign this. And so I was like, and she's like, what? And I go, you knew. And she's like, I totally forgot. You forgot until this very moment that we were getting in the car. And so I had to sign this thing. And so I talked to the teacher and I was like, look, I'm overwhelmed, man. I'm it's like a war. I'm like trying to teach this kid, but she's fighting me at every step. I need a calendar and schedule from the teachers that says every day what's due so I can plan. I'm gonna have to put up a giant wall, like a whiteboard with storylines. Yeah. And go. on it. But
I will
she's
say
so
also,
sneaky.
I don't know how it works at your school. I'm probably giving away a hot secret here. I think very rarely is homework checked. So it's really about like, it's just the practice of what they learned that day, if it's math or whatever. And so like, I think what is checked is if it's done or not. So if she had a bunch that was done wrong, she probably was still going to get credit for it anyway, because nobody has time to check 26 papers to see
this feels like
they have other kids correct it.
Oh,
it's corrected by they flip it.
But
which
do they
is
get
great.
grades on it?
I don't know if it goes
Like,
toward.
we'll be like switch papers.
I don't think it's. I think you're right. You're only graded if you don't turn it in.
Yeah,
you don't turn it in. But one of the problems was it was like a math problem, and she's in 5th grade, and it was like 170 minus 58, and her answer was 170. Again, just one quick in case you listen quickly. 170 minus 58 equals 170. Yeah. I was like, did you not? Well, what? Yeah, it was one of those of like, maybe you weren't paying attention to what you were doing.
I mean, it does feel that way, yes.
She maybe thought it was 170 minus 8.
Maybe she just thought the second number was fake numbers. Like, I thought that was fake numbers, Dad. I wasn't including that one.
She just didn't give a shit.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Jason's conclusion.
Jason seems to, we'll go with C, Jason's answer.
Well, that's so funny, Kate. What do you see? Because you must see now, because you're kind of you're the Oz behind the curtain. You must see what the kids do on a daily basis. I'm like, wow, look at this kid.
Well, so I'm a special ed teacher, but then I mainstream with my kids up to their 4th and 5th grade classes. So I see both the mainstream, it's just what we call it. I'm sure that's going to offend somebody, but that's what we call it. It's the mainstream, and then there's the CLC, the special ed.
From now on, it will be known as the forward stream.
The forward, so that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. The forward stream. But anyway, it's just interesting because what my kids can handle is very different than what mainstream can handle, but at the same time they can be with them for social studies and science. So it's they're with me really for English and math. And I think the thing that's so different right now is the way that math is taught, the new math, which I don't know that I dislike it. Like today, Neil showed me, I don't know how I'll be able to show this to you guys, but Neil showed me and I'm like, yeah, it's a great way of doing it, where like the way we used to, like if you're going to add, I'm going to see if I can show this, like you're going to add 3-digit numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So like we would put them on top of each other, right? Do you guys see that? We would put it on top.
Yeah.
And we'd go 5 plus 2 is 7.
Put it on columns, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So like the way that they do it now is, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you break it. It's called, God, what is it called? But
I hope you don't teach like this.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I got to teach you some math, but honestly, I don't know how to explain this.
But by the way, my kids, Neil's in 3rd grade. He's doing harder math than my kids are doing. Yeah. But that being said,
is it Common
like
Core?
you do 100, then you do plus 70, then you do plus 5.
Right.
And then you do 300 plus 60 plus 2, and then you add them that way.
Can I ask a question?
That seems
what was wrong with old math? Like,
I don't. That's the thing. Yeah. I still am like, I will tell you visually what he does. I'm like, that is so much. That makes so like this. I know what I need to do. I just got to add the rows, and I got to carry the 1. And there's something visually about breaking it out. And you're like, oh, you can just add the 100s. You can just add the 10s. You can just add the 1s.
Right.
And there's something like that makes more sense about it. So it.
See, Katie's saying it too. Thing. Katie says you break it apart by place value, and then
exactly.
So I had to go through that with Hannah. I have that bit about it on my album about the whole fact that I was like. Here's what's happened is the way they're trying to teach it is the way I think most of our brains work. Because my brain always went, and even when I tell my kids I do math in the car with them or whatever, and they'll give me crazy problems, and I'll do it because my brain goes into 0, like 10. Everything goes to 10s and 100s, and then you go from there and you group it. And I think that's what they're trying to get kids to think of, as opposed to their brains just doing it. Which I mean, it got people to the moon. Zuckerberg, Elon Musk was old math. It seemed like it worked. I'm with Jason. Yeah. It kind of worked pretty fine.
It did, but also like who knows with this new way of thinking about it. Well,
I know that Jay's got an alligator in spelling this week. So,
is that a prize they got, or is that what he learned?
No, it's like a stamp. It was like a stamp. I'm not really sure.
See,
What
Is
does
that
it, what does
positive
this
or
mean?
negative? I'm not
I
sure.
don't know because the alligator is not.
I
He's kind of smiling, but I can't. I don't know what I'm supposed to take away.
Ben,
from
what's your
it.
take for it?
I would say the alligator's good. Now, my with my oldest son, we kind of missed all that because of his autism. But my youngest son goes to a Montessori school, so we don't. We're learning about moon rocks and chakras and nature and stuff. So
That'll get
he's
him
going to be
far.
fine. He's going to
Yeah.
no, actually, it's a really great school, and
course.
he's good at math. He's very good at math. That's like the one thing he is very good at. But they use like abacuses and stuff like that, which is like in blocks and things. So.
Yeah.
There are only
Ben,
wood
you-
toys at that school. I
Ben,
can tell you that much.
Yeah.
You glanced over it very quickly, but your older son is autistic for people who are just listening.
Yeah. He's nonverbal and pretty kind of classic autism, so lower functioning. So we didn't have math problems like that. So
honestly, that's kind of a positive, I would argue, because I'm in 5th grade and I'm having trouble doing the math, man. So
yeah, I mean, and
made
then
it a little bit easy. I mean, obviously you have other problems to deal with, but
Sure.
math's not one of those problems.
math is I got 99 problems. Math isn't one.
Matt's not one.
And
Can I?
How old is
So I
he?
tried my AI, and I let
26.
my AI do the math, and he did
Yeah.
it for me. So I'm not even going to have to help. him.
exactly.
I'll let
Get
AI
a
do it.
calculator. Ask Google.
Here's why the alligator is
Ryan's
good, by the
17.
way.
Okay, so
17.
He's 17. I thought he was over 20.
Yeah.
Is there
alligator is good because it's A. I think alligator means A.
yeah.
But yeah.
My kid
I-
would be psyched if he got an alligator. Ethan loves alligators.
Oh
so.
man, I would kill for an alligator.
I mean, Jay
Yeah.
seemed pretty happy about it, but
I mean, if you were a student in Florida and your grandmother had just been eaten by an alligator, like
it's probably
has
an F
happened
there,
recently,
yeah.
Yeah.
it would kind of probably be traumatic to go. Did I buy? I got eaten by this test? No, I'm sorry, I didn't know your grandmother got eaten by them.
But I think it's the smile on the alligator. I don't know where it is. I would show you,
happy.
but like he just seems very.
That means he
he's
means he
very
just ate
smug.
somebody.
He's
No, he's
just
smug because
very
he ate
smug
somebody.
in
He's
the
full.
photo.
He's very full of food. Yeah, that's crazy.
That is funny. Katie says that the alligator eats the bigger number in math, which is exactly how we just did greater than or less than, which all of my kids are actual geniuses at. So I will say that.
Oh yeah, that
Greater
yeah, it's
than,
greater
less
than.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's like, oh, geez, Katie needs to come.
Is Katie a teacher?
No, Katie's a mom of 4. She's actually opening for us
I
at the Parents Lounge live show.
Nice.
Expand. That's what they call it when you need to expand it out. They're like, here's the number. Here's what you're supposed to add. Expand it, and that's when you do 100.
So what point did we sit down and just go, hey, you know what? Let's try math a different way, and we'll just spread this out. Like,
Well,
when
funny,
did that happen?
Jobo said it, and it was that they are hoping to make people's like the concept of numbers easier. New math breaks down why the numbers work. It makes learning more advanced mathematics easier. So it's
That's
like
so funny.
it's
By the way, our pal
Boy, that's
Troy.
really
It took me a
good.
second. I was doing the math and I was like, 5 plus 6 times 3
I know.
squared equals 99 problems. I was like, that's
Really
a good callback,
good.
dude. That's
really
tasty.
good.
That's real. 4th grader IXL world. We're in the IXL world. Actually, it's so funny because Hannah's in 5th grade, and so I don't think she knows it, but they send you the certificates, right? You get a little email that goes, your child just scored 5,000 points in IXL. And I opened it and it said, she's in 5th grade. She scored 5,000 points in 4th grade IXL. She did the year before. I was like, hey, why are you in 4th grade IXL, Chief? Why don't you release the Snyder math? Oh, that's so good.
So good. Also, Jamie, I'm so sorry. Every once in a while, we see the comment before
know.
you do, and then
I
it
know.
probably seems like we're laughing. It's like you, but it's
No.
just we were laughing
Yeah,
at
You
you.
had laughed at such a weird point, and all three of you had laughed simultaneously. I knew. I go, something's up.
Something's
Something's
up.
up. And of course, it was narcolepsy.
It was
Common
our
Core
Rudy.
equals just another way for parents to feel stupid, says Melanie Colony
Yeah.
Defenbow.
What's IXL? I don't know IXL.
IXL is a app. We have IXL, Freckle. There's a couple others.
Are you guys doing Class Dojo?
We had I don't have it now. It's for
Oh,
younger
okay.
kids, but we had Class Dojo for sure.
Yeah.
We have Plan Book. My kids'
Yeah,
soccer team,
Team
one's on
Snap.
Mojo, the other one's
Oh.
on Team Snap.
Okay.
And I'm a boomer, and I'm like every day. And the other coaches, hey, we're gonna use Mojo. I go, dude, please, for the love of God, I
Jason's class
can't
is
do
moving
another app. My head's
Friendster.
gonna explode. What,
Yeah, I'm not a boomer, and I'm with you on that. I gotta
No,
tell you.
Jason's
Are you
class
just
is
looking
using
for like the
Friendster.
carrier pigeon or
dude?
What are
Every
you-
day.
Honestly, I'm looking
Pony
for no one to
Express?
ever be able to contact me ever.
Yeah, it is.
That's
it is
ideal
insane.
for me.
I still some guys will reach out and they go, hey, didn't get that message on Facebook? I go, dude, no, I didn't.
No.
Did you get the hint?
There's like
Apparently.
an 8% chance that Mulligan will even respond to your texts.
She doesn't respond to text message, but if you write something stupid, she'll hold it over your head and make it funny.
That's right.
Oh,
That's what she
Well,
do.
also, by the way, could we
He says
please
he
look
can't
at the
get in.
hours?
That link is making me sign up and create an account, says Carlos Alazaraki.
Oh,
Boy, he's a worse of a boomer than I am, by the way.
yeah, he's
He's tech.
He's
Like
literally
he's a
done the
savant
show like
because
2 dozen
there's a
times.
mosquito in my studio.
oof.
He doesn't need to sign up for account. He just should log in.
You're talking to the wrong guy, dude. I know
Yeah.
that. Send him an email.
Also,
if you
Carlos,
want.
are you
we have
gonna
to
get West
go,
Nile?
So,
I have another horrible story. Can I share?
yeah.
So
Share one.
Hannah, I did a post about this, but there was a pot. I went down the side of the house, and one of the giant big pots had fallen and shattered into pieces. And giant pots just don't fall over. So I went inside and I said, Hannah, did you knock the pot over outside? And she goes, yeah, I did. I go, did you not? It shattered. And first of all, I was like worried she was killed. It was huge.
Right,
And
it's
I was
big.
like, I thought I was worried about it. And I said, did you not? I go, did you not want to tell me? And she goes, no, I didn't. She goes, I thought you'd be mad. And I go, well, you didn't hide the evidence. So obviously, what did you think I was going to do when I found it? And she goes, I thought you'd be mad, but it would be later. And I go, so I said to her, I was like, do you not trust me enough to like come to me and tell me something like that? And she's like, trust you? You remember that time you asked me to try a radish? How can I ever trust you again? I go, all right, you got me. That's gold. I was laughing.
Oh my
so
God.
hard. I'm gonna have to put that in
Dickie-
the act, but might make it.
Dickie did something recently that is akin to this, which I actually like legitimately talk about like spouses. I'm not going to say all dads do this, but this my husband definitely did. He loves liverwurst, loves it.
Ugh.
And he thought that the boys
Ugh.
should try it
Ugh.
because they would like it too. But he didn't want to call it liverwurst. So he called it surprise burger. He called it
What?
surprise
Ugh.
burger.
Sounds
I
worse.
I agree
That's-
with names. Names is a terrible.
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
But that sounds worse.
So
surprise
surprise
burger?
burger or happy there's some kind of burger.
Yeah,
that
you
it
got to
was.
call it like happy fun time meal. Yeah, you
And
got
whatever
to.
and they ate it, and Neil actually dry heaved. It was so and they were like, why did you tell us we were gonna like this? This is not what we like. And then he's like, oh, sorry guys, I lied to you. I lied to you guys. It's actually called liverwurst. Why didn't you just tell us what it was? Because I didn't think you would try it. We want enough. But it's
By the
like,
way, is
now they don't
liverwurst
trust
made?
them.
Is it made from liver? What is liverwurst
Yeah, I
made
believe
from?
it's like it's.
Can anybody? Where's Katie? Katie's
Yeah,
our
what is-
fact checker.
Oh,
What is
Katie,
liver-
what is actually liverwurst?
what is actually in liverwurst?
Pig or calf liver.
But not just that, but you're calling it. Okay, what should we name this thing? And somebody goes, well, it's liver. We should put liver in there. It's horrific. What if we just make it worst? The liver worst.
Like,
The
usually
worst part
the
of the
worst,
liver.
Worst is the
It is-
German word for sausage.
Yeah.
It is a sausage. It is considered a sausage made from liver. That is.
Liverwurst.
Gah!
I can't
But
eat.
they
I think
genuinely-
I tasted liver one time. It tasted like a copper penny. It was like
I
so
don't
metallic.
Are you
want
not
it.
doing, Jamie? You said you were getting in shape. Are you not doing like the Liver King? Are you not eating like
Yeah, I
full
mean, I eat-
testicles and?
Of course.
Even
of
the
course.
Liver King's not doing the Liver King. Let's
No,
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 of
I
course
am.
he's
I'm
not.
eating them
He's
all,
doing it for
and-
YouTube views, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Doing it
no,
for
he's
all
juicing.
views, and I'm totally juicing. And yeah, liver's important. And I eat about 14 eggs a day. My cholesterol's through the
14,
roof,
you
but
do-
man, I look good. Look good. My
Troy's
coat's got
got
a really good sheen.
Troy's got a thing going on here. Due to poor feed forward, liverwurst shall now be known as liver forward. That's a callback.
Man, the
I
crowd
did.
tonight.
God, what was it? We did something with something that had. Carrot cake. My kids won't eat. They're not going to eat carrot cake. They
Okay.
like carrot
Oh,
cake, and so
delicious.
but I called it something else, and they ate it. Yeah, they're not going to eat. No kid's going to eat. But then it was bad because then they started eating my carrot cake, and so I was like, no, that's made of carrots. It's carrot, and then they wouldn't eat it anymore. But kids are so. All kids are gullible because I like
But
stereotypes.
don't you feel like you should really pick and choose how big your lie is, because they genuinely do not trust Dickie anymore. Genuinely. They're like, is this like when you told us it was surprise burger? Like, they
She brings the
genuinely
radish
do not
up.
trust him.
Well, see, I mean, I'm not a big fan of surprises in general. So if you gave me a surprise burger, I'd be like, dude, I'm not eating this. I don't know what's in it, but I don't like it. I don't like anything called surprise burger.
Yeah. Surprise, you're gonna puke.
Oh, by the way, just in case this might be Jason's last show, because the escaped prisoner is somewhere in his vicinity.
Wait,
as
what?
We speak.
Well, we don't know if he came north or south.
Well, you
the
don't
last
know.
report we got is that they thought they knew where he was within a 3-block radius.
Was that when was that?
Earlier today.
Was that the guy that they said crab walked up the?
Yeah.
But that's not a crab walk. I was so annoyed by them calling that a crab walk. That's some sort of feat of superhuman core strength.
It was pretty
I
impressive.
used to do that all the time.
Crab walk is where you put your hands behind you and you walk with your belly up towards it, or you do this. That was not what that man did. Was something
In
totally
college, I used to do
different.
that all the time, and I'd hide above the door jam. And he does it in the professional. He pushes his body up and hangs at the top, and then swings down and shoots everybody. Yeah, we
You know
used to
who
do
I
that
think
all
could
the
do
time.
it, Taylor?
And Hannah did it. Don't you see?
Hannah?
Hannah did the
Your
video.
Hannah can do it.
Actually, dude, I've got to share that and go, uh-oh, look who's escaping.
Yeah.
And she would hold in the Iron Cross. Kid's strong. The kid is getting strong. She had her first swim meet this week. She had a big swim meet. We had 2 soccer games on Saturday. One went well, one went bad.
Okay.
Really bad. I had that coach. There was the other coach couldn't make it, so I was the head coach, and I made 4 girls cry. I actually didn't sleep very well Saturday. I made 4 little girls cry because I put them in goal.
Okay.
And they were like, I'm not playing goalie. And I go, oh, someone has to play. And I was like, oh, come on. Everyone will play over the whole season. And the one girl sobbed and ran to her mother, didn't go back in the game. Like, it got ugly. And I felt terrible after. And
if you want to give them the number for our support group for people that Jamie makes cry on a regular basis, so you can go ahead. We'll just go ahead and talk to them.
But here's what I did. I stopped calling it goalkeeper, and I called it goal forward. I said, can you play goal forward? And then she was like, oh, yeah. Absolutely. I'm totally down for goal forward.
It's goalkeeper, not goal loser, you little.
I was heartbroken. I was waiting for a phone call on Monday from the parents. The parents took a vote. Jamie, you're out. One of the moms came up, and our team. Here's what happened. We have a first round draft pick, which is supposed to be your killer. That's the number 1 pick. AYSO has a draft, and a lot of the coaches are like, they're such scam artists. They know. They rate these kids, right? And then they put the teams together, and the clubs have mostly been decimated by the club. I mean, the AYSO has been decimated by the clubs, have taken every kid who's got talent. So you have a couple of players who can basically drag everybody else through a game, right? That's at this age group. And the 1 or 2 kids can just dribble down and score and stuff. And so that was our number 1 pick. I've never met her. She hasn't been in 1 practice, and she didn't show up for the game. And I didn't know that until the other coach ended up telling me, he's like, yeah, we're still trying to get her to come in and stuff. And so hopefully she will show up and help. But the first game, kids were like in a deer in a headlight. The kid went down on the other team on the opening kickoff, literally dribbled. All of our team just watched her, and she dribbled it the length of the field into the net. It was, I wish I had it on film. It was one of the most shocking things I've ever seen. And at some point, one of the parents came up, and this is such a dick. I didn't mean to be, but she was like, she goes, you need to yell at them and tell them where to go and what to do. And I go, yeah, that'll help. And then I go, you're more than welcome to yell as much as you want. We had 1 practice. It's been 105 degrees. We couldn't practice.
No.
These kids a lot of them had never played before. And they're such sweet kids. And I was heartbroken. I was like, I wanted to hug them all. And one little girl who's so sweet came up. She goes, I'll play goalie. And I go, I love you. Please, for the heart. And put her in there. And we didn't even lose by that much, but it was rough. It was a rough game. And then Hannah's team destroyed the other one. So it was.
I feel like that you need like a live view of you coaching, like, like a sideline reporter.
I try not to yell. And I only say positive things of like, move to space, do this. And then I come great move. I'm not really negative. I'm so negative in real life, but when I coach kids, I'm not.
I believe it, because that's also how you are on stage.
But I'm very verbal.
Negative on stage.
I'm very verbal because I know the game very well, and I'm always about space, move to space, move to space. If the kid's on that side, go to the far post. Yes, yeah, you got it. but it was hard. But I think we're going to be like, if you think about the first game of the Bad News Bears, the movie gets better. And so my hope is that, and we've had a couple practices since then. So
I just imagine you like Will Ferrell in that Kicking and Screaming movie in the second half.
Close. It was close.
Like in the zebra, the striped pants, yelling at Ditka.
Pretty close.
It's funny.
The game haunted me for the whole weekend, and Claire came home, and 30 minutes later, she was playing with dolls and happy as a clam. But I was haunted. I felt so bad. I felt terrible. I hated it.
Well, look at it this way: you're giving her a lot of things to talk about her therapist with.
Yeah, she's gonna have a long litany of problems to talk about. Yes, Kay, what were you saying?
No, I was gonna say I'm very annoyed at that person who came up to say anything to you, because I'm sort of like,
it wasn't her fault either.
But also like, you're gonna tell me what to do, like. How I'm volunteering. How about you volunteer?
She wasn't mean about it. She wasn't mean.
Say, yell at that. No, she was giving you instructions. She was saying,
can you, I guess, coach them? But there's only so much you can do at this age group. I can't stand on the sideline and go, that's a soccer ball. You should kick it. You should kick it full.
Coaching looks different in everybody. So that is somebody telling you what to do.
I'm not sure I'm great at it. I'm not a great coach per se. And that's why I keep signing up for assistant coach, because I like working with the kids one-on-one with skills like yesterday. So I'll sit and kick around, and I'll pull one kid aside and kind of show her how to kick or how to trap or a good move or something to do, more so than I am about like putting the lineups together. I put the lineup. The other coach gave me the lineup. The head coach couldn't be there, and so he gave me the lineup, which was awesome of him. But the kids were in. I go, okay, coach, you're playing goalie, and she's like, I'm not playing goalie. What are you, high? She's like 8 years old.
I'm our soccer's HR department. I just handle all the interterm drama.
You coached last year, though, didn't you, Jason? You did the same.
I do the same. Yeah, I'm an assistant.
The one kid got caught in the net, like he got hung up in the net. He couldn't get out of it.
He is so small, and I don't know how physically he does it, but it happened way more than. And you're not supposed to like pick the children up, so I just let other kids kick balls at him until he fell.
Coach of the year.
There he is. Gentlemen,
we gotta roll.
We gotta wrap it up, because I'm 11 minutes past my prime. But also, if anybody, just last thing I want to say, if anybody knows of any place I could get just a lot of firewood, let me know. I don't know that anybody knows, but if anybody knows a place where I could get just like stacks and stacks and stacks of firewood, I would love it. Just
is it a bit? Took me a second.
For the audio listeners, Ben's been sitting in front of a pile of wood.
I live in the UP. I got woods all around.
This is the reason Mulligan never took off in radio. She didn't take off in radio ever.
You know what? She didn't take off anywhere, Kayla.
Bill, look at your sweater. Back in the 40s, they'd be like, hey, we have a script. And Mulligan would go off script and go, look at that mustache on your face. It's funny, isn't it? And everyone's like, no one can see his face.
I've never seen a mug like that before in my whole life.
Hey, man, who's here at the door? That a guy?
I see who it is now, but I'm not going to tell you.
We're on the radio. You need to tell them everything. They don't know it.
She really looked at me with those you-know-what kind of eyes.
All right. There's our Dandy Mart sticker, where you have a sponsorship deal with these fine people. They have ponied up with us, and we love them very much. And that's the place to go. Do you have a handwritten ad, Jason, that you want to share about Dandy?
No, I would just want to let everybody know tonight's show is brought to you by Dandy Mini Mart. If you're in the upper northeastern Pennsylvania area or southern tier of New York, and you need gas or food or anything, you can stop at any of the 5,000 Dandy Mini Mart locations in our area. And they are bringing...
You murderer! Not you, murderer.
Last time I was there for the show, my hotel was very close to Dandy Mart, and I think I went in there 417 times over 2 days, pretty much, which was pretty great, actually. That's awesome.
But they are sponsoring the Parents Lounge Live on October 6th and 7th. Me and Kayla and Justin Ruppel will be joining us. Katie Bame, who you saw in the comments earlier, will be opening up for us. And you can get tickets at bcrac.ticketleap.com.
Mm-hmm. I'll be up in Sonoma this weekend, 16600, our favorite vineyard, who's sent us more wine than we could ever. Well, that's true because I drank every bottle of it. I'm hosting a show up there at their vineyard. So if you're in Sonoma, hit me up. Find me on Instagram and Facebook or whatever. Ben, you are looking forward to another Lions win this week, I believe.
Yeah, and a fantasy football win. So got to know.
Good luck with that. So, and Mulligan, your family's healthy.
My family's healthy, and I did a show last night, so I can't blog.
Oh, how'd it go?
It was great. It was fun.
Did you
Tried
do a
out some
show I
new
didn't know
stuff.
about? It would have come out.
To Flappers? Would you have though? You had some.
I would have actually. Next
down,
time, I
Brittany.
keep trying to get out to Flappers. I love, that's one of my favorite comedy clubs is Flappers.
It's
Yeah.
great.
It's
We
great.
could have had you also get up and do a set because we lost Christian. So
We keep losing Christian along the way. Thanks you to everybody for tuning in. These last few weeks have been pretty great, and it's amazing the number of people who are starting to stop by. So we appreciate it. It's parental mental health for everybody. If you can get a good laugh and see that we're all kind of going through the same thing, then I think it takes a village to make everybody feel better. If you are listening to this on iTunes, definitely subscribe, like, write a review if you get a chance. We would love that. Come find us live every Tuesday on Facebook, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Also on YouTube and Twitch. What am I forgetting, Jason? Anything?
Twitter.
Twitter. You can see us on Twitter, I believe. Yeah.
Yes.
X, I believe it's
Also,
called.
I
It's
mean, you
X
can
now.
get new episodes of the audio podcast on Mondays and Thursdays. Thursday, part 2 of our show with Justin Ruppel and Steve Lemmy will drop. And we will, after that, have all the rest of the shows coming at you every Monday and Thursday.
That's right. Lemmy from Tacoma FT, Thursday nights, True TV. All right. That is it. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next time here in the Parents Lounge.
Good night, everybody.